because today I just want to talk about generating clients. And we're making sure, awesome, that we are going live. So welcome to our training. A whole bunch of people jumping on. Some friends, some familiar faces. Peter O'Sullivan, good to see you here. Let me just make myself live here as we are here on camera. And okay, welcome to this live. Essentially, I'm talking about getting clients now, getting clients fast. I guess that's the idea is, what are we doing to maximize our opportunity to be in business, right? So I'm going to go through a whole bunch of tactical things. I'm going to go through some strategic things, an idea that I have used for years that has generated high 5, high 6-figure deals in my businesses. For me, it's really funny. There's 3 key things that need to be addressed when we relate to getting out there, generating clients, having the business we want to have, maximize our opportunities to actually do well in any given marketplace. So regardless of where we find ourselves today, we're either somebody who's kind of just starting out thinking, I want to be a business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, I want to start out, so I want to get out there and get in the market. So we've got a whole bunch of people that are generally attracted to these types of trainings, right? So I'm just kind of getting going and I want to get out of the market. So that's the first person. Second person that I tend to speak a lot to is somebody who's a freelancer. You got 4 or 5 clients. It is you and no one else. You're the salesperson, the chief everything officer, the delivery person. You're doing the customer service. You're doing the fulfillment, and ultimately this caps out your income. So we have people who are freelancing right now. And then we've got some people who are a little bit more advanced, where you've got more clients. You're probably dealing with 10 or so more clients. You might have a few team members and employees, somebody that you hire, and you're starting to evolve into an agency, or you're a full-blown agency. You've got a team of between 5 and 10 people or more. You're generating $500,000 to $1 million plus in revenue. So I guess that's 4 places that we find ourselves in this business. Now, number 1 is where, if we're in business, we're always looking for clients. Regardless of at what level you're at in your business, you're always opening the door to clients. And one thing that I find that most people struggle with and have the biggest challenge with in their market is they struggle with their offer, right? They struggle with what they're offering to the market. They struggle with things like, how do I price this, right? They undercharge, undervalue. They struggle with delivery, the confidence to be able to actually deliver the result that you promise or you want to promise to the marketplace. So these are things that are going to impact or impede you in being able to engage or get out of the marketplace, right? If you don't have an offer that is out there today, if nobody has your offer in their hand or in their lap, or they can't engage with you in any shape, form, or fashion, you're not in business, right? You're not going to get a client. You're not going to open the door to generating the business that you want to generate. So number 1, and I'm asking you, if you're watching this, hashtag replay. If you're watching the replay, if you're watching this live, just go hashtag live. Let me know that you're live. I know I've got a whole bunch of people who join me here on the Zoom. If you're on the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group, there's a Zoom link with a passcode. Use that link, jump in here, because I'll be able to answer your questions a lot more succinctly and specifically as we're going through what I'm sharing on the live training today. But this is the thing, right? If we don't have an offer, if we're not clear, and it's all very good if you've got the offer, but nobody can see the offer, or you're not putting it out there, it's going to be really difficult for you to generate sales. And the number 1 thing I often ask people is, how many people did you talk to last week? And how many people did you talk to this week? And it doesn't matter if you're just starting out, you need to be talking to people about the fact that you're in business. Because if you don't, then nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows that you can help. Nobody knows that you're accepting clients right now, right? But if you don't have an offer that you're clear about, you're clear and confident about the pricing, and you're confident about delivery, you need to start there right now. And I'm going to walk you through some kind of simple things that you can do to maximize your opportunity to have a better or more succinct offer in the marketplace. So that's something you want to be very conscious of and very mindful of is offer. Biggest problem, don't have a clear one, not consistent in putting it out there, and nobody's got it in their hands. And if you don't have appointments in your calendar this week, at least 5 to 10 appointments in your calendar this week, you're not in business. It's going to be very hard for you to generate any clients or any sales, right? So today I want to talk about some really simple things that you can do to go and pick up revenue today, in the next 24 hours. I'm going to talk about some of those things, right? The second thing that people struggle with, and it's a real problem, is the ability to consistently generate leads and appointments. Consistently generate leads and appointments to be able to qualify and generate presentations. So the second thing is not enough leads, not enough people to talk to, not enough people looking at my offer, taking an interest in what I have in relation to the problems that I solve and how I help them. Not enough. There is no system unless you're advertising and you're generating leads through ads, and you can do that. If you dial it in, you got the right message, you got the right offer, you got the right avatar, you got the right price, and you're at the right time. Then that's the perfect wind tunnel for a customer that's going to buy or invest in your services. Right? But if you're not running ads, then you've got to be generating leads in some other capacity. You've got to be engaging on some level of consistent basis. And free is not free, right? It's your time and effort and energy. But there are some fundamental things that you need to do consistently. And if you do this, you don't need to go and spend money on paid ads. There are many ways to get clients without spending money on advertising. Most of the people that I have come across, most of the most successful people in the world still generate clients without running dollars on ads, right? However, advertising can accelerate the process. But remember, you've got to have it dialed in, right? You've got to have it dialed in. So that costs. So I'm not talking about running ads today. You're not going to be running an ad and going and getting a client, right? Although that does work as a client engagement and lead generation strategy, I'm going to be talking about ways in which you can go right now, go and get a customer, right? That's the deal, right? So if you don't have a consistent way that you're engaging the market or opening the door to a conversation, if you're not letting people know what you do, how you help them, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow your business. It's going to be very difficult for you to put cash in your bank account, right? But this second thing is a killer for a lot of people. When I talk to people, I don't have a consistent way to generate leads, right? I don't have a consistent way to get in front of clients. I don't have a consistent way to have my appointments filled for me, right? So that's the second problem I want to address, where you're not going to have to worry about having the opportunities. The idea is to manage that process. I'm going to walk you through some pretty simple things you can do to make sure that you're engaging 20, 30, 100 people a day, right? And that's the other thing is we don't need thousands and thousands of people in our lists. We don't need thousands of people. For some of you, I'm talking about reaching out to maybe 4 or 5 people that may open the door to lots of other people. So second thing, you don't have a way to consistently get leads so that you can move them into generating an appointment, right? And the third thing is fear. The third thing that stops us is the fear of selling. The fear of selling. So what I mean by the fear of selling, because we perhaps may not have a defined sales process, we might have a very convoluted approach. We ask a whole bunch of questions, right? We try and get some feedback in terms of need. And then what we're going to do is we're going to propose, and then we're going to put a price to that. And they're going to base their decision on the price, not on the value that they deliver, because that's the way you set it up. So there's this fear of, there's this, what do I say? How do I say what I say? Like I get people all the time saying, great, yeah, I want leads. Great, I've got the leads. Now, what am I going to say to them, right? Well, if you don't know what you're going to say to them, what are you getting? You're not even in business, right? If you don't know what to say to people on how you're going to help them to invest in what you do, what are you doing? You're out. You are out of business before you even start, right? So you have an idea, you know how to fix things, or you know how to solve a particular problem. And that is the core of any idea in business. There is a problem, that you have the skill or the ability to solve that problem, and in a way that it makes it affordable, that there's good value in that, and the client is willing to invest to make sure that they're getting the result or the outcome. They're buying the result. They are not buying the thing that you do, They're hiring you to give them an outcome. That's what they're interested in. They're not hiring you to run Facebook ads, right? They're hiring you to dial in the marketing that puts a buying customer into their business. Somebody who's put up their hand and said, I'm interested in buying your product or service, right? They're buying your ability to attract a buyer, to attract somebody who is putting up the hand saying, I'm interested, I need to know a little bit more. How do I buy this thing, right? Either I want to buy this thing, help me buy, or I'm interested, I need to know more to make sure that your thing is the right thing. Your clients are looking for the results. So 3 things that people struggle with. Number 1, clear offer, right? Super clear offer and confidence in delivery of that outcome. If you don't have the confidence to deliver the outcome, you are screwed before you even start, right? So, and by the way, you really kind of just need to understand the fundamentals. You don't need to understand everything. If you're a Facebook ad expert and you're the expert, then you know how to get the result. If you are not a Facebook ad expert and you are selling Facebook advertising, you need to work with a Facebook ad expert that knows how to get results. You don't do the Facebook ads yourself because you don't know what you're doing. You're going to burn a client's money and you're going to create problems for yourself. And that's going to really hurt your confidence. So if you're really good at it, then you do this. If you're not good at this, but you understand the fundamentals and the framework, then you work with somebody who is good at getting the result, right? Somebody who can help you, contractor, white label provider or partner, somebody who already has the process systems to get the outcomes that you're selling in the market. So it's either going to be you're the guru. And if you're not the guru, then you need to hire somebody who is the guru, who is the expert, right? Who can do this, right? So that's that second piece. That's that first piece. Confident in the offer, confident delivery. Got to have that. If you don't have that, you're screwed, right? Second, generation. Got to get consistent, right? Well, I'm going to walk you through a whole bunch of ways in which you can get consistent, right? I'm going to walk you through some things you need to walk through to make that as a reality and outcome. And number 3, the confidence in the ability, your ability to be able to sell. And one of the things that I'm really strong on is to make sure that if you're going to sit down and talk to somebody, that somebody that you're speaking to is ready to buy, not ready to inquire, is ready to buy. So your sales process needs to have the ability to qualify to make sure you're talking to the right person. They're ready to go now. They've got the money to pay you. So the money is not an issue, right? And they need your help, right? They need your help and you can help them. They've got the money to pay you. That's not the issue. They're ready to go right now, not next week, not next month, not next year, now, right? You know, you can solve their problem. You can help them. Right? Pretty simple stuff, right? So that's really that third piece, right? That qualifying piece is really important. And then your sales process. Sales process, it's a really simple process, right? The idea is 80% of your selling is done before the client actually sits down and does a presentation with you. So I'm going to go through some core fundamental things. And then what I'm going to do is, because there's a whole bunch of people here joining me on the Zooms here, I'm going to allow you to ask me questions, right? And I'll be able to answer those questions and coach you to going and getting clients. So if you want to generate clients now, the things that I'm going to be sharing with you are things that I would do if I needed to put cash in my bank now, right? Cash in bank like today. If I want to put cash in my bank in the next half hour, I would be doing some of these things, right? In the market. So let's go through some fundamental stuff, right? So fast ways for you to generate sales and clients now. It's a pretty common sense one, but you need to let everybody know who you know that you're in business, that this is what you do and this is what you help people with. You need to let everybody know. So what I would do is get a really quick list together. I encourage everybody to do this and say, hey, this is the business I'm in. This is the problem I solve. This is who I help. These are the types of businesses I can help. And these are the results that I can deliver to those businesses, right? So this is what I'm doing right now. This is the problems that I solve. These are the types of businesses that I can help. And here's the types of results that I want to deliver for those businesses. You need to let everybody know that you are in business. You need to let everybody know you're in business. Because if the people who you like, love, share, connect, who are connected with you, if they don't know what you do and who you help, How is somebody who never knows or doesn't know you going to know that unless you're able to actually articulate that? So the first thing is you want to be articulating that first. If you haven't done this exercise, and I know there's a lot of familiar faces here, and some of you have done this, and if you haven't done this for a while, I would do it again today. Hey guys, this is the business we're in. This is what we're doing. Right now, this is the problem in the times that we are in. I'm helping people do this. If you know anybody, if you're a person that needs this help, let me have a quick chat to you. If you know somebody who needs this kind of help, who may need my help, can you let them know? Can you introduce me? Can you connect me? That's the first thing that I would do. Go to your familiar audience number one, right? Let people know if you've got something new, if you're working on something new, let them know what you're working on. If it's something that you are able to share with them that adds value to the relationship, let them know what you're doing, right? How that works, right? But you need to be asking, you need to put that out there, and you also need to engage. Hey, what do you think about the idea of this business that I'm running, right? Do you want to know more? Can I, is it okay if we sit down, maybe have a chit chat, maybe something I can do, maybe I can help you out, right? Number one, you want clients today, go and ask people who you know, if they need help or someone they know who needs help. Now, there's a strategy I'm going to walk through a little bit later to take this even one step further. That makes it so much easier, so much more powerful. You can easily pick up between 1 and 3 clients for the next 24 to 48 hours if you do this, if you choose to do this, right? The only thing that's going to stop you is not implementing. And that's the other thing I just want to quickly say. Hey, learning stuff, hanging out with me, all very cool. I really appreciate, and I'm very humbled by the fact that you've chosen to join me today. I think that's awesome. I've got some clients here. I've got some members here. I've got some champions here who are out there. But this knowledge and this idea is worthless if you don't apply something from today. And the one thing, if we can, I'm doing this as a metaphorical, metaphysical contract with you, because we're not signing any agreements here today, but just as a promise to yourself, as you're listening, as you're taking notes, just take one thing that you pick up today that is designed to put you in front of a client and just do it, right? Even if you mess it up, it's okay, because you can't mess it up. The fact that you're actually actively doing and engaging, you can't mess that up, right? Because let me tell you, some of the worst sales pitches I've ever done, right, have opened up questions and opened up the opportunity to generate clients and sales. So you can't screw this up. It's impossible. Letting people know that you're out there to help people is not a screw up thing to do, right? It's a way to open the door. So if you can just take one thing out of this, if you're watching this as a replay, take one thing and apply that one thing to your business. So just making sure that we're live in our lives, and we are, and we've got a whole bunch of people here, which is great to see. Like I said, friends, people in my sphere, on my Facebook groups, it's good to see you here. And so it's really funny. Somebody's actually just typed in the chat. One of the people, the last 2 clients I closed, use the strategy. I reached out to people I already knew. Faisal, thank you for sharing that, mate. One of our members in Clients Unleashed. So it's a really simple thing to do to generate clients. And Faisal has just demonstrated that if you apply this, you can get customers, right? So number one, who, right? The familiar list. That's a really, really cool thing. The other thing that we are in the age, yes, we are in the age of information, and we're in the age of the knowledge economy, right? If we're a service provider, we have skills, expertise, and understanding that our market doesn't, or has a limited understanding of the things that we know, right? And if you really think about it, those who've been hanging around in this space, learning, consuming, knowing that, creating an offer, making a lead magnet, doing all those sorts of things, fundamental things to be able to engage an audience, get opt-ins, start sequences, email. We all know this. If you've done affiliate marketing, if you've done internet marketing, if you've done learned how to do AdWords and Facebook, we all know the go, right? We all know we have a level of knowledge. Now, the unfortunate thing is that level of knowledge in this audience is useless, right? Because you're not talking, or you're not engaging, you're not hanging out with your clients, you're hanging out with other people who are saying, thinking, doing, sharing the same thing. And a lot of these people don't know how to run a business. They don't know how to run their own businesses. So one thing that I highly encourage you to do is stop listening to internet marketers, right, about how you should run your business. Because internet marketers are great at one thing: marketing on the internet. They're awesome at copywriting. They're awesome at email marketing. They're awesome at selling you. They're awesome at internet stuff. They are not awesome at building a real business, right? They are terrible business builders, right? Brilliant marketers, awful at running a business. They don't know how to run a business. They've never run a real business in their entire lives. And the reason why is because their price points are too low, right? Their price points are $97. I've used these price points myself, right? In marketing online, I've done this, but I'm a business guy. I know how to market online, but I'm a business guy, right? But this is the thing, we don't listen to internet marketers. Talk to business owners. The best people you can learn from about business are people who actually run real businesses. And the people who run real businesses are your clients, your prospects are the people you should be spending time and talking to, right? Not internet marketers. So be friends with internet marketers, but don't listen to them, right? Go and hang out in business groups. Don't hang out in internet marketing groups, because internet marketing groups just opens up a rabbit hole and just confuses you. Every single person here knows how to help a client. I'll guarantee you, with hand on heart, I know every single person who's listening to this right now, if you're watching this live, I know you know how to help somebody. I know you know how to help somebody. So you've got that as a foundation, right? So one thing that I find that works really well, and a lot of people have generated clients doing this. In fact, a lot of people generate their first clients doing this. And some of my mentors are still doing this. And I'm doing this today with you, is teach what you know. Teach what you know that works and how it works. Teaching what you know is one of the easiest ways to get your first client if you need a first client. Teaching what you know is an easy way to get clients, period. Some of my mentors, Frank Kern, some of my coaches, the guys that I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with, James Schramko, Taki Moore, Dan Sullivan, like people I've spent a ton of money on, right? Today, even still today, they teach what they know to get clients, right? They're making millions because of this concept of teaching what you know. So teach people, show people how the things that they don't know that they don't know. You know, how many people, I know that 80% of Facebook ad campaigns are totally unoptimized. The reason I know this, a friend of mine, Zach Johnson, who specializes in auditing Facebook management accounts, right? More than 80% of the Facebook management accounts that they get into are completely unoptimized. That means that they're wasting money, they're ineffective, the strategy's wrong, and they're burning sales opportunities, right? Because it's all wrong, right? Even the way that the campaigns are set up are wrong. So if 80% of Facebook ad campaigns are set up wrong, the people running the Facebook campaigns don't know what they're doing, right? They don't know what they're doing. They're making mistakes. If companies are running Facebook ad campaigns internally and they've got an unoptimized account, it will immediately tell you that they have no idea what they're doing. I've had people, so here's a tip, right? If you know how to fix things in Facebook to make them work, go into forums and ask the question saying, hey, is anybody experiencing this thing with Facebook and it doesn't work, right? I know how to fix it. If you're interested, I'd love to just help out, because this is something that's burning money. If you need help with this, let me know. PM me, DM me, do whatever. Post. I had a friend of mine, one of the people that I work with, Tanner, he literally went into a Facebook group and said this thing: most Facebook ad campaigns suck. If your Facebook campaign sucks right now and you're frustrated by burning cash and it being effective, if you are in this situation, I might be able to help you out. Just reach out to me. I will help you fix that shit, because you don't want to burn that money, right? So 7 people in a business Facebook group, right? He didn't offer to sell them anything. He just offered to, hey, I know this is going on. I know this frustrates the hell out of people, right? And the thing is if you don't fix it, it's going to hurt. So I look into ad accounts all day long and I see the shit that is broken. So if you suspect that something isn't right, then just reach out to me and I'll help you out. I'll help you out for free, right? Now, he did that in a Facebook group, a business Facebook group. 7 people reached out to him saying, Tanner, I've got shitty Facebook ad campaigns. Yes, help me out, right? 4 of those 7 people ended up paying him $5,000 a month to now manage their Facebook ad accounts. He went in, explained what was going on, gave the fix. Some people went, thank you very much, and went with it. Some people said, you know, Tanner, we didn't know this. We're burning cash like crazy. How much is it going to cost us for you to manage our ad accounts? $5,000 a month, 5.5% of the profits and revenue, right? $20,000 in less than 7 days. $20,000 cash banked in less than 7 days, just by teaching what he knows. Who could you teach what you know to take them from where they are, a level of not understanding, right, to knowing what they need to know to get the result and the outcome? And here is the best close that you can offer those people when you teach what you know. If you teach people what works, this is the best close that you can offer, right? Hey, do you like the idea? Are you going to implement this? Are you going to get your team to do this? Or if you like, would you like our team to help you put this into place? Can I show you how that works? What would you want to do? Do you want to go through, fix all the stuff that you don't know how to fix? Or would you like our team to fix it for you, right? That immediately opens the door. Because you've done a little bit of help, I'll guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they're going to go, you know what? How much is it going to cost us for you to do this? It's one of the easiest ways, so simple to get clients. In fact, I know lots of people, in fact, there's a lot of people here, maybe some of you have been teaching what you know to actually get clients and actually getting clients. If that works, double down on that thing. Who do you need to teach, right? So teach what you know. Teach what you know. It's the easiest offer. Hey, by the way, Facebook made over 400 changes on their platform last year. More ad accounts were shut down in the last 6 months than in the last 2 years on Facebook because of their artificial intelligence. Their algorithms are killing them, right? How do you manage that? How do you get people's Facebook campaigns up and running? That's a real problem that people are trying to solve right now, right? People need help. If you're doing Facebook AdWords, same thing. What are the challenges that people have? AdWords accounts. I have a friend of mine, Rob Warner, who runs a fantastic white label service, IPPC. They audit accounts like they've audited thousands of accounts. Thousands. They've audited thousands of accounts, right? And they know that more than 70 to 80% of most Google ad accounts are unoptimized, meaning that they're either bidding too high, paying too much per click, right? And not getting seen, and lots of wastage, actually bidding on words that aren't actually going to give them results and outcomes, right? And these are people who run big campaigns that are making these mistakes. So same thing. Are you making, do you feel uncomfortable with how much you're paying per click on the lead? Are you feeling uncomfortable about the cost of acquisition of a customer? Is it worthwhile having a really good look, right? I'm noticing, like, if you want AdWords clients, the easiest thing to do, pick an industry, go to Google, type in Google service local business, right, or local market, look at who's advertising and see what they're not putting into their campaign. You'll see that they're not adding plugins, they're not doing the add-ons, they're not linking correctly. You'll see just from the ad, you'll see straight away whether the ad is optimized or not optimized, right? Then you go and reach the company and say, listen, you're spending money on ads, but dude, you're missing out because you're making some serious mistakes and it's costing you some money. Love to be able to fix that for you. Are you interested? There's an offer. You don't even need to know who they are, right? You can tell an unoptimized ad account or ad campaign purely by the listing. You can immediately tell whether or not it's optimized, right? So a lot of people wasting money. So that's, if you're fake. Now, sales automation, email marketing, copywriting, everything, right, that you're providing as a service in the market, same thing. What is the best way to get the best possible outcome, the result? What is the proven path and methodology to get a better outcome with what you do so the client gets a result? If you know the proven path, show the proven path, right? So third tactic, I love this tactic because you can actually napkin this tactic in front of somebody. This is where you're dealing with the problem, you're dealing with the engagement of a collaboration of a solution, and then you're identifying and you're articulating the outcomes. So let me give you an example of this. So let's say, for example, I'm working with, I'll pick roofers. I'll pick roofers, for example. Now, roofing company is going to say, John, we buy lots of leads. We're on Home Advisor. We get lots of emails and stuff like that. But the biggest problem we have is most of the leads we get are pretty crap, right? They're tire kickers, price shoppers. They're pretty ordinary leads. Okay, that's a problem, right? Our close rate on those leads, because they're price shoppers, we're competing against other people who are always undercutting us in the market. So, it's the race to the bottom that really ticks us off. Okay, great. And the other thing is that surprisingly, the majority of leads that we engage, we don't actually get to speak to. So we don't even know if they were real or not. We don't even know if the leads were real or not, right? So here's 3 problems, right? So if I know, and by the way, these are 3 common problems, not just for roofers, these are also problems for every other contractor, every other professional service on the market, same thing. And the reason why most lead generation campaigns are ineffective is not because the ability to generate the leads is the problem. It's 2 things. The strategy's wrong, right? The strategy to actually generate the ideal interested party is wrong, or the ability to manage the sales process is wrong, right? The ability to manage the lead isn't working. It's not set up correctly. So these are the 2 reasons. I'm just going to take a little bit of drink here. These are the 2 reasons why most campaigns fail. But, I saw, and I would just give an example of a terrible strategy, right? Saw a roofing company ad where they were advertising saying, hey, get $250 worth of free cleaning for your gutters, gutter cleaning. That was the offer on the Facebook ad, $250 for gutter cleaning. Now, this is a roofing company. They're not a gutter cleaning company. They fix and repair roofs. Now, if I'm looking at a Facebook ad and first of all, I don't know if my roof needs cleaning, right? I don't know if my gutters need cleaning. That's one thing. And as I'm trawling through Facebook, gutter cleaning, will that really inspire me? $250, for gutter cleaning. Wow, that's that's a price to clean some gutters, right? Get on the roof, dig out my gutters, take the mud out, whatever, drop the leaves off, remove any branches that are obstructing water flow. Like, yeah, $250. But this is for a roofing company. Now, what does a roofing company sell? Either a replacement of your roof, a new roof, or to repair the roof. So their idea was that the free gutter clean would get them on the roof and then say, hey, you need to fix your roof. Or, hey, for a deal, we can give you a quote to replace the roof. The strategy's wrong. It's a dumb strategy. It failed dismally. They're saying, this Facebook advertising doesn't work, right? Well, that's because you're not offering roof repair or roof replace. You're offering gutter cleaning. So what are you going to get, right? It's a terrible strategy, right? Whoever gave them that idea was an idiot, right? Because it doesn't make sense. Why would somebody inquire, who's going to inquire about a roof repair? They're not going to inquire about guttering. They're going to go, I need a fixed roof, right? I need a new roof or I need my roof repaired. That's what they're going to inquire. So the campaign needs to reflect that, right? And so they didn't get any leads, right? So they go, well, that didn't work. We spent, $20,000 on Facebook ads on a campaign that didn't work. Well, of course, the strategy was wrong, right? So the other side of that is the sales process is wrong. Most people have a terrible follow-up system. Most people don't follow up at all. Most people don't even get, if they do follow up, they follow up 3, 4, 5 days later when it's already too late. So the opportunity is lost in most cases. So if I know that those are the problems, then my thing is, how do we fix that, right? How do we actually, instead of getting a bunch of tire kickers that are focused on price, that means we shouldn't be advertising based on price. If we're advertising, we're super cheap or we're super discount, if that is your thing and you are super cheap and you are super discount, then that's fine. But if you don't want to be super cheap and super discount, don't do super cheap, super discount, because you're teaching people to buy you on price, right? Choose another offer, right? So the offer needs to be reflected. Then the other thing was, well, we can't get to people. Okay, so you need to manage the process. So number one, we've got to have a better offer, right? Qualifying a non-price shopper. So we need a system to filter them. We need a system to engage them, number one. And then we need a system to filter them, to provide them with the relevant information, to see if they're ready, to give them the next logical step to getting on the calendar, to getting an estimate for your sales process, right? So the problem part is, this is what the problem is. The solution is, what is the process? How do we go from that's the problem? How do we fix that problem? What is the framework that we use to fix that problem? And then the outcome. So if we fix this problem, what's going to happen, right? Right now, you get 100 leads, you're not getting anything. But now we have a system to manage them. We have a system to filter them. We have a system to book appointments. Out of the 100 leads, what do you think is going to happen? What's your worst case scenario? Oh, well, we should be able to at least get 20 opportunities out of that. Great. That's the promise, right? So if we've got a system that does nothing, and now we have a system that actually solves the problem, in your opinion, what will happen? Well, we'll get at least 20 opportunities. Out of the 20 opportunities, how many sales do you think you make? Well, out of 20 opportunities, we should be able to close 6 deals. If your average deal is $15,000, right? That's $60,000. That's $90,000 in sales, right? For every 20 opportunities, you get 90 grand. So over here right now, you get nothing. And if we follow the process based on what you're telling me, you get 90 grand, right? You get a system that filters leads. You get a system that captures leads. You get a system that you can remarket to in the process. These are the outcomes that happen. And based on your numbers, right? Based on the fact that we're running this a little bit differently, what do you think is going to happen? The question is, would you like to implement the system? Would you like to keep doing what you're doing, burning leads, dealing with people who are price focused, not managing the process and missing opportunities? Would you like to continue doing that? Because the impact of that is wasted advertising, wasted revenue, and wasted opportunity. Or if we were to put in a process to manage the lead, to capture, to provide the relevant information, to give them a logical step to making sure they're the right person and filter them to get into your calendar. And then that opens a door to the opportunity of you actually having those conversations, ending up with a 20 to 30% conversion rate based on what you told me. That gives you 90 grand. If it gives you 90 grand this month, and if we kept doing that for the next 12 months, right, that's $1.18 million in revenue with our new system. My question is, what would you pay to put a system in place that conservative is going to generate $1.18 million in revenue, right? That changes the perspective when you show people that. You know, what do you want to do? Over here, you keep doing what you're doing, no result. Now we're fixing the problem. Now we're looking towards the outcome. We can manage this. We can test it. We can measure it. We can give you an ROI, right? What would you like to do? The 50-50 close. Would you like to apply and set up that whole thing yourself? Or would you like me to show you how our team can do that for you? Easiest close on the planet. You got a 50-50 deal to win, right? And oftentimes when you walk through and have that conversation, oftentimes people, you know what, best conversation I've had. Never thought about it that way. Realize where the mistakes are, right? So that's the problem, the solution, and the outcome, right? Now, here's the thing, right? What is your offer? What problem does your offer solve, right? Who has this problem that you're solving, right? And the next question is, what is your give? Is your give to teach? Is your give to show? Is your give to self-assess? What is the give, right, in your offer? What can you give, right? Like I've just shown you, shared with you a simple process. Hey, would you like to see a really simple framework that eliminates wastage in your marketing campaign and actually focuses you on getting the clear outcome and result that you can actually measurably see in revenue? Are you interested, yes or no? There's an offer, right? Put that out to people and you can put whatever niche you want in front of that offer that I've just created. Hey, biggest problem in the market is this, right? It's costing this. If you've experienced this problem, what if I showed you, I'm happy to give you a simple framework that takes you from that to actually having a defined process that is measurable, a proven path, and then ultimately that gives you the positive result. Return on investment, right? Gives you a framework of measuring so you can manage and gives you the outcome you're actually looking for. One that actually delivers why you're doing this in the first place. Is that something, listen to the question, is that something that might be useful? Let me know. I'm happy to share that with you, that model. I've literally just given you a simple framework that you can share in the market, right? Position the demonstration as a training. Yeah, position the demo as a training. Don't do it as a demo or a pitch. Teach them, position as a training. So at the end of that, say, look, what are you going to do? It's all very good sitting down here looking at this. But at the end of the day, if you keep doing what you're doing, no result. But if we put this into place and it's measurable and there's an ROI on that, what do you think we should do? Should we do this or not do this, right? So it's a very, very simple focus that you want to do. So remember, offer. Your offer has to revolve around the problem that you solve, right? Who has this problem, right? And say, look, I see this, I see it all the time. I actually gave you about 6 problems today already. In 44 minutes, I highlighted 6 issues that are relevant to pretty much about 3,000 different niches, right? I've literally given you 6 issues that you can apply to 3,000 or so different niches today. You can take this framework and you can run with it, right, in the market, right? So offer, problem you solve. So what does the offer solve as a problem? How much is that problem costing your client, right? How much money are they spending to try and solve that problem, right? The bigger the amount of money spent, the more they want to invest, right? Now, who has got it? It might be more than one type of business that has it. So you've got plenty of people you can start sharing this with, right? And then what is your give? What is your give, right, to engage, right? And the give could be training. It could be, let me show you what's not working and why, and more importantly, how we flip that and make that the result you actually want to have, right? Framework, right? Let me share a framework with you that works, right? Would you like you? Are you interested? Would you find that useful? There's an offer, right? And the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make is they only ever make one offer. They'll put the offer out there, and if somebody doesn't respond, they go, well, they obviously didn't like that offer. No, you've got to be continually offering, right? Friend of mine, John McIntyre, who's an exceptional email marketer, I highly recommend anybody invest in his email marketing coaching programs. He's a beast, right? He's a beast when it comes to email marketing. He had a client, and the client would market every 90 days. They would send an email out to their list, right? And they'd make sales every 90 days. They'd make sales every 90 days, right? Then he said to the client, well, what if we ran it every month, right? So they would test it, and of course, they make sales every month. So instead of making sales every 90 days, now they're making sales every month. And then he said, what if we ran the promotion every week? And the client went, whoa, too much. We're going to burn our people are going to hate us if we keep offering stuff every week. I said, well, why don't we test it, right? John said, why don't we test it, right? So they tested it. Guess what? People bought product every week, right? Then he said, hey, let's be bold and let's be brave. What if we made an offer every single day? And the guy says, no, we can't do that. That's really going to piss a lot of people off, right? I said, but let's test it. He said, let's test it, right? So what happened? They ran the test. 25% of the list unsubscribed, right? 25% of the list unsubscribed. Now, that's a good thing. That's a bad thing. It's like a quarter of your list gone, right? But here's the thing, 75% of the list stayed. 75% of the list accepted the offer every day. And then guess what happened? They were making sales every single day. The very thing that they used to do once every 90 days, now they were doing it every single day. And within a year, that company skyrocketed their revenue. Skyrocketed. But they lost 25% of their subscribers, right? No great loss, because 75% said, we're happy to receive the offers, right? And the proof is in the pudding. The validation is they bought. The number one thing I know, and I have faltered in this area myself on several occasions, where you've got to have an offer out there every single day. The question you want to wake up with is, who has got my offer in their hands? And if they don't, how do I get it in their hands, right? Who am I talking to today? Who am I talking business with today? That's what we need to do to maximize opportunity to generate revenue and sales, right? So in the piece of the puzzle, right, where is the money now? Where is cash that you can pick up now? So, somebody came to me and said, John, I need to make some money pronto, right? Okay, I've got a skill, I've got an offer, how do I make money, right? So here's 4 things that I would do. I would do them, and I would recommend everybody that would say, John, I need to make some cash now, right? Clients, I need to get some clients now. What would I do? So number 1, if I've got existing clients or past clients, I'm going to offer them something new, right? If I've got people I'm already building a relationship with and I know, I want to extend my line of service to people I'm already doing business with. That's number 1, right? How can I add value? What else can I add to this relationship? What else is going to benefit them? Instead of selling 1 product, why don't we market 2 products, double the price, right? In one of the agencies that I work with, we had a service for the physical therapy market, and we did back pain. And so what we did was we built another funnel, and instead of a back pain funnel, we did a knee pain funnel. And we went to the PT and said, listen, back pain's working really well. We know a lot of people suffer knee pain. What if we tried a knee pain funnel? Would you like the knee pain funnel, right? We offered that to a whole bunch of people, and they said yes. We had 18 clients say, we'll take it straight away. right? Now multiply 18 by $5,000 a month for 12 months, right? We offered an extended line of service to existing clients, right? Said, hey, let's give this a shot, right? We've got a knee, we did the back thing, we're doing good in the back thing, let's do the knee thing, right? Now we've gone back to existing and get this, people who were past clients who no longer, we said, hey, we used to do back pain, what if we tried knee pain? You want to give that a shot? And past clients came back and said, yeah, we'll do the knee pain thing, right? So we even picked up customers who'd left, who decided to do other things and brought them back in with the other offer, with the extended line of offer. So number one, what can you offer to an existing client to add value? How do you upsell them with an offer? Go to them with an idea. Hey, I've got an idea. Hey, we've got a knee funnel. We do the back thing, but what if we develop the knee funnel thing? Are you interested in doing the knee funnel? Are you interested in doing the other funnel, or are you interested in doing a product category for this other product, right? Hey, you do Invisalign, but what if we did the implant funnel? We've nailed the Invisalign funnel. What if we could do the implant funnel? You can increase an existing revenue from existing clients. I have been doing this for 33 years, right? I've been doing this for 33 years where I offer existing clients an upsell, an upgrade, an additional two, right? And it works every time. It works every time, right? Past and existing. Now, you may be saying, John, I got no past and I got no existing clients, right? But I've spoken to a few people, made an offer, but nobody's really bought. So the second group of people that I would make an offer to are people I've already spoken to. People I've either made an offer to, a money offer, people that I've walked through a demonstration, people that I've had a conversation with, but for whatever reason, the timing, the money, the idea wasn't right. The second people that I would make an offer to are people that I've had some conversation with in the past. I've either pitched to them and they didn't buy, right? So the reason why is because times change, things change, and people need help. And maybe where they've gone to for help other than you, it might not have worked out for them, or they didn't do anything and they need to revisit it, right? So you want to go back to the people you've spoken to in the past. Second thing, you want to pick up cash, go back with an idea. Hey, got something new, things have changed. Facebook's changed, AdWords have changed, email marketing's changed, right? Strategies changed, messaging's changed, something's changed, right? Got a new thing. You can always go back to the past. The reason why is they already know who you are. They already know what you deliver. They already know what the price is, right? So that all that stuff is taken care of. So now it's like, are you interested in this? So an offer that I've often run is I've gone, hey, it's been a while. How's it going? Are you interested in blah, whatever? You interested in Facebook advertising? Are you interested in AdWords campaign? Are you interested in running a campaign on a new product line? Are you launching a new product and you want to run a campaign? Are you interested? Yes or no? Are you interested? Past offers, fastest way to open the door to generating revenue from people who already know you. That's the second one, right? Number 3, referrals. Who do you know? Who do you know that needs this help? Ask for referrals. If you ask for referrals, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get referrals. Remember the idea, let everybody know that you're in business. Go out and say, hey, listen, right now we've got a bit of a gap that we can fill. We've got some team. We're helping people out with this strategy right now. Do you know anybody that we should be talking to, right? And maybe that person might know somebody that you should be talking to. Go and ask your existing clients. Go and ask past people. Go and ask anybody you know, hey, do you know? Ask for referrals. Fastest way to get quality clients. Ask for referrals, right? So those are the first 3. I've got one more. So these are 3 things. Existing customers, upsell. Past offers, resell, right? Referrals, new opportunities. Do you know anybody who needs help? Those are the 3. The last one is groups, either Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, forums, right? Forums. Join business Facebook groups. Join Facebook groups for your niche. I just joined, I'm not in the plumbing niche. I've been testing a particular strategy and a lead generation campaign in the plumbing market. In fact, in the last 4 weeks, I generated 24 appointments in a freaking plumbing market, and I don't even serve plumbers. I gave those 24 appointments to somebody I know who does serve, but I was testing a strategy, a lead gen and a client acquisition strategy, and it was in a Facebook group. I joined 5 plumbing Facebook groups, 5 of them. I'm not a plumber, but they let me in, right? They don't know that I'm not a plumber, but they let me in. And I just started asking questions. And I started saying, hey, does anybody know anybody about this? I started engaging in that process. Join groups and ask questions. Join groups and offer a give. give something that opens a door to that conversation, because that's what we want to get to the conversation, right? James Carley says, how do you generate leads from a Facebook group? James, so simple. Reach out and friend a person in the group that you have something in common with. That's the first thing. The second thing is, hey, we're in the same group. I'd love to know a little bit more about what you're doing or what's happening right now, or are you running this type of business, right? They're going to respond back and say, hey, you're going to say, look, my experience is I'm seeing these sorts of things. Are you experiencing the same thing? Yes or no? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. So I think the most important thing is, well, the most important thing is this. Hey, look, is it worthwhile getting on a call to have a bit of a chat, introduce ourselves? Maybe there's something I might be able to help you with in relation to this thing. Or, hey, I've got this framework that I've been using and I thought, maybe it might be worthwhile you having a look at it. It actually takes you from having the problem to a defined solution that has a real outcome when it comes to this thing. Is that something that might be useful to you? James Carley, that is a whole outline of how you can go get clients from somebody's Facebook group right there. Right, very, very simple, right? Should take you about 6 to 8 messages and you'll be able to get an appointment. 6 to 8 messages, you'll be able to get an appointment, right? Then you want to qualify the person, right? So groups, LinkedIn groups, forums. There are so many thousands of forums, industry forums, where people are asking questions all the time. Say, hey, I cannot tell you how many times when I've used LinkedIn as a lead generation and acquisition strategy, where I've joined a particular group and you'll see questions, right? And you say, listen, this is a fix, right? And then people say, hey, thanks for doing that. It was amazing, right? Awesome. Hey, look, if you need any help, if you want to look at anything, just let me know, right? Now, I have posted those types of posts in LinkedIn, and I don't give away half the solution. I'll literally articulate the entire step of the process. Just doing that one thing, people go, you know what? I haven't been able to do that. Can you do it for me? They'll direct message you. Groups are a very fast way to engage, add value, and open the door to connecting with people who are prospective customers. And if you're in groups, in niches, even better. In groups, in niches, even better, right? So, a couple of actions here before I open up to some questions, right? Number one action, right? What is your offer? You need to sit down and write that offer down. If you want to make a deal out of your offer. You can provide an incentive, you can provide a give, but make a deal out of it, right? Because it's an offer. You're putting it out there, say, hey, are you interested? Would this be helpful? Would this be useful? That's the deal, right? Now you can either do a teach or you can do a give. You can do a teach, let me share with you what you know, or let me walk you through the problem, framework, the solution, and the outcome, right? You can do that, right? You need to make a list of people, make a list of 20 people. If you want to go into a market, list 20 businesses, find out who the owner of the business is. Really easy to do, by the way, not hard to find out who the owner is, and reach out to them and say, hey, listen, I've been working on this, thought it might be useful, love to be able to connect. Are you interested? Yes or no? There's an offer, right? You want to send out about 20 of those a day, 20, right? Worst case scenario, you're doing 10, right? Now, here's the thing, you're asking for feedback, right? So you're looking, hey, look, what do you think? I created this thing. Do you want it, right? Do you need help with this? Are you interested in something like this? You're asking for very short, punchy, hey, look, I'm helping people like this. I see this is a common mistake or a common problem that people have. Are you interested in looking at the fix, right? Are you interested in this? That's key that you're trying to get out into the market with, right? That's what you're trying to do. Okay, so really simple action point, right? Get your offer, make a list, make an offer. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've shared with you in this process, right? And I want to share one tactic that many of the people that I work with in my high-end coaching programs have actually applied this strategy. A few of those people are here, right? It's something that I know works like gangbusters. The thing that's going to stop you from doing this is your own, your own confidence, right? Your own confidence is going to stop you from doing this. But it's so simple, and I'm going to really dumb it down for you to make it really easy. And I'll guarantee you, if you do this, right? If you do this, you should be able to generate between 3 and, I would say between 1 and 3 clients easily. If you do this, you should be able to put yourself in front of 1 to 3 paying customers. And these customers are not going to be paying at the low level. They're going to be paying you a little bit more. They're going to be paying you high 5, 6 figures, right? If you do this thing, follow through with it, it's a really simple exercise. You're going to laugh when I tell you what it is. I call it the be a friend to have a friend strategy. Be a friend to have a friend. A friend of mine, Alan McGurven, always used to say, John, to have a friend, you got to be a friend first, right? So this is the be a friend to have a friend strategy, right? So depending on what businesses you serve, if you serve a particular business, our niche, our market, depending on what you do, you need to kind of know, you need to understand those niches. Now, the best way to understand it is to have a conversation. And I want to have a conversation with a handful of people. And so these are the types of people that I want to have a conversation with, right? And I'll explain, I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to explain exactly what to do. I'm even going to give you the script that I use to do this and other people that I've taught how to do this. And like I said, the people, in fact, I've got somebody in my current Clients Unlimited program who did this, who's sitting on $300,000. This one little thing that I'm going to walk you through has literally landed a $300,000 plus deal in somebody, right? And I know somebody, one of the other people that I did in Champions, got themselves a client that invested $700,000 in Facebook ad management doing this very strategy, right? So I know that it works, and it has generated multiple 8 figures of deals over the years for me. It works like gangbusters, right? And it works so well that most people will screw this up, and that's okay. Even if you screw it up, it's going to open up the door to an opportunity. So the be a friend to have a friend strategy is very simple. You know what you can do. You know how to solve a particular problem, right? You know that you can deliver an outcome. And most of the market doesn't know how to get the result, right? Most of the market is looking for results, but you serve a market, right? It could be a niche or several niches. It could be a type of business. It doesn't matter. But what I generally look for is I look for influencers within a market, right? I'm looking for an influencer. So what is an influencer? An influencer is a consultant, a coach, an author, a strategist, an educator, right? An educator, a leader within a market. I'm looking for these types of characters, right? These are the first people that I look for. The second type of person I'm looking for is an iconic business person in that niche, right? An iconic business person. So I'm going to demonstrate this from a SaaS point of view, right? For a software as a service point of view. So let's say I do lead generation and lead management for SaaS companies, right? So what do I want to do to go into a SaaS company? So I want to find some info. I want to find some people who consult to SaaS companies. I want to find some VC companies that actually generate revenue or give cash to SaaS companies. I want to see those people because they're talking to those people all day long, right? I want to engage with people who engage with my market. So I'm looking for the influencer. So the influencer in the SaaS market are consultants, VC, venture capital funders, equity lenders, authors, coaches, program developers, channel partners, people who serve the industry, right? Those sorts of people. So influencers, who are the influencers, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, who are the iconic business people? Who are the best of the best in that market? Who are they? They tend to be very visible, right? They tend to be very visible. And so it's not hard. There's generally CEOs of companies that have done very well, right? Now, there's this amazing website. It's hidden from the rest of the planet. Nobody seems to be able to find this website. It's called, it spells it very easily. It says it's a really weird name, GOO, right? GLE.com. Most hidden website on the planet, right? Very hard to find, but it'll give you a lot of this information that I've just shared with you in this process. You'll be able to find who the iconic business people are, because iconic business people are visible, right? Are visible. So I want to get a list of 3 or 4 iconic people in a market that people know, 3 or 4 names. So in the SaaS market, easy to do. Who are the, I just ask questions, right? Who is the number one, who are the top 100 SaaS companies in this market, right? Google, right? And it gives you the top 100. And then I go and look for the CEOs of those companies. Are those CEOs in the media? Do these CEOs speak at conferences? Are these CEOs constantly being interviewed? Are they out there in the market? Iconic, recognized, right? So now I've got 2 people. I've got influencers, and now I've got iconic business owners. The third person is a niche leadership right? Niche leadership. So niche leadership is presidents of associations or leaders of chapter groups of associations. So every professional, every business market has an association. In the United States, associations are generally lobby groups for government, right? And most associations have their head office in Washington, DC, where all the politicians hang out, right? Where Congress and the senators hang out. That's where most of the associations, especially the large ones, have their headquarters, right there in DC. So they can influence and lobby for their industry, right, to improve the industry. So most of them have a national association president. A lot of them have a state association president. And then a lot of them have chapter association presidents in chapters. And the cool thing about associations is the executive board of directors of an association is publicly listed on every association website. And oftentimes the people who make up that board are people who actually work in the industry. And it is not uncommon to find people who've been in the industry for 20 to 30 years and have decided to give back to the industry so that they've actually joined the leadership within a market. These people know a lot of stuff. They're super, super smart, right? And so I'm looking for those three people: influencers, iconic business owners, and industry leaders. And very easy to find their names, very easy to find their emails. And in a lot of cases on association websites, if they're listing their board of directors, a lot of association websites will actually print the phone number on how to contact them. So you can actually have a phone number to contact. Really easy to find. So there are three people that you are looking for. The pretense of be a friend to have a friend is to ask for advice. Most iconic people have this thing in them where they're willing to share. And so if you identify them as an iconic person, you can say, hey, you're an industry leader. You've been in the game for a long time. I've had a little LinkedIn profile. This is who I am, right? Like, this is who I am. I'm trying to, this is what I do. This is who I help. But I'm not here to talk to you about that. I'm here to talk to you about innovating or improving or getting better results and creating better impact for the industry. And I thought I would just reach out to you if I can spend some time and ask you some questions about what you believe is important and what your thoughts are and what your insights have been. Is it okay if we connect, and is it okay if we reach out? And oftentimes it's amazing how many people will accept that invitation. You will now be able to speak to an influencer, iconic business owner, or a niche leader. Now, I'll give an example of this, how this happened, where somebody sent an email to Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, one of the sharks on the Shark Tank, a multi-billionaire with hundreds of companies that invest in. A guy, a 21-year-old kid, out of New York University of New York, right? NYC, right? NYU, New York University, sent an email to Mark Cuban, and it said, Mark, are you ready to disrupt the insurance industry? That was the question. That was the subject line. Mark, are you ready to disrupt the insurance industry? Mark Cuban responded to that cold email. One message, right? He then invested $23 million in that company. $23 million he raised. In fact, not even 3 months later, back in 2019 in March, Mark Cuban hopped up on the stage with the founder of that company that asked him that question of disrupting the industry, right? And said, this dude here, I responded to a cold email and gave him $23 million, right? Because he took an interest, he knew what I was interested in. And he knew that I love disrupting things, right? I love disrupting things. So I gave him the audience. He asked me a whole bunch of questions. Smart dude. I decided to invest in his company. Now, his product and offer was not unique, by the way. It was very simple. It was an insurance site aggregator, right? Insurance aggregator. There's hundreds of insurance site aggregators, right? So again, taking an interest, right? Hey, reaching out. You're an icon. You're a leader. You're an author, right? You've done a lot of homework. I'm trying to innovate. I'm looking to improve, get better impact. To be able to do that, if I can ask you a couple of questions or a question for your opinion, your insight, I would really appreciate if we can do that. That's the offer, right? So you actually ask the question. You find out what's going on. In your opinion, what's the most important thing when it comes to this? What are you seeing? How is the market changing? What is the 23 million to develop an aggregator, Chris? Absolutely. It's actually more than that. They've raised about $50 million for that website. Since then, so it's been pretty big. So here's the thing, right? So you're asking to garner information. Then you're asking their experience, in their opinion, what's happened to them? What do they believe is important? The purpose of the questioning, the reason why you're reaching out, the purpose of the question is twofold, right? The first purpose of the question is so that you understand what's going on, right? It's actually threefold. I'll say there's three things you'll get out of this. Number one, you're going to be talking to people who know what they're talking about, who have experience, who are going to share that knowledge with you. Number two, right, you're going to get an insight into what's going on. And number three, you're going to be able to use that insight and use that connection of that iconic business owner to open the doors to the rest of the market, right? And the other thing that will happen is if you do this right, the iconic business owner or the influencer or the association is going to hire you to help them because of the fact that you've chosen to do this in this approach. So essentially, you're kind of interviewing, learning, and then you're going to feed back. To really make this work, you want to make sure that you acknowledge the fact that they've given you their time. So be nice. Say thank you in a nice way. Send a thank you card, send a book, send a gift. Just say, I really appreciate the time. Is it okay if I share my findings with you? Is it okay if I give you some feedback on what we found, right? One of my consulting champions, Adam, did this exact thing, right? In the middle of a pandemic, and the restaurant industry went from almost being broke to $3.9 million worth of revenue in 11 months, selling SEO and marketing to restaurants in the middle of a pandemic. Can you believe that? Using this exact strategy of asking and getting engaged and having those questions, right? So what happens is generally you'll open yourself up to a customer in doing this, right? So remember, there are three problems that we have, a lot of us have, we don't realize. Number one, that clearly defined offer, getting clarity, making sure you got the offer, and confidence in delivery. You've got to get that first. If you don't have those two things, you're going to struggle, right? The next thing you really need is a consistent way to generate clients, right? A consistent way, because most people don't have a way to open the door to having those conversations, right? The third thing is having a defined sales process that qualifies, has the person completely qualified, money, service, everything right up front. And then having a really simple process to allow the client to buy. Those are the three things that you need to make work, to get the consistency. So imagine that you could get 50 engaged opportunities every single day on autopilot. Imagine that you could be talking to 15 to 20 people who are interested in what you have to offer, right? To start that conversation. Imagine being able to close 3 to 5 deals every single month by having those three pieces organized: the clarity, the confidence delivery, the ability to have a consistent engagement of people who are interested in a niche, decision maker, targeted, right? Then going through and having a process to qualify, to have them in your calendar, into your appointment, right? To qualify them so that they identify and say, yeah, I've got the money. Yes, we've got the problem. Yes, we need to do something about this right now. And they're asking you, well, how can you help us solve this problem? Imagine having three things completely taken care of. And one thing that we've done, and I've done this, and I'm helping a whole bunch of people at the moment go through this process, right? In that thing. So if you're interested and you want to know more, just go over to clientsunleashed.com, right? Just go to clientsunleashed.com. I'm just going to put that in the chat here. Clientsunleashed.com. We've had people not even 2 weeks in already generate 2 to 3 sales. Not even 2 weeks in, already pick up 2 to 3 deals through the strategy, right? If you're looking at it. So that's the problem, or that's the thing. And the other thing is I'm coaching people through this process, fine-tuning, making sure that they're getting those outcomes as well. So if you want to know more, just go to clientsunleashed.com. Everything is there, right, that you need to know more. So with that, I want to thank you. I want to answer questions here right now. Love to know, for those of you who are with me, hey, Tanya Bellchambers, good to see you here. Jerry, awesome to have you here. Obina, nice to see you. Josh, Don, Alec, Avery, Mohammed, Chris, Christopher Browning, as always. Howard, Tiana, always good to see your face, mate. I feel like I'm at home when I see your face on my screen. Ahmed, good to see you here. Ahmed, if you have a question, we've got a whole bunch of here. Teo, good to see you, Teo. Coffee, nice to have you here. John, Jason Croft, as always, nice to have you here. Tiki, good to see you. Max, awesome to have you here. If you have a question, type in the question in the chat. I will answer your question. If you're brave enough and you've got a microphone, turn on your mic. You've spent an hour and 14 minutes with me. I hope this has been awesome. I kind of want to make this even more awesome for you. If you want me to craft an offer for you, answer some questions, give you some clarity, then I would highly recommend that you do that here, because I'll hang out with you in this time. So for those of you who want to know more about Clients Unleashed, just go to clientsunleashed.com. Those doors are open right now. We are going to give you 700 leads, 700 leads for free, if you want to know how that works, right? So you can go to clientsunleashed.com and you can go and check that out. Now, let me answer your questions. I know somebody just unmuted, so if somebody did unmute, you can feel free to ask the question. Who asked?
Hey, John. Hey, John.
Hey, Howard. How you doing, man?
Great, great. I got a question. How important is it to build assets ahead of time before using this strategy with the influencers? In other words, if I'm in the kitchen remodeling, do I need to have a kitchen remodeling agency website, or is it just modifying my social profiles enough?
You can do that, but you don't need that at all. You don't need anything. You don't need your profile. You don't need a website. You don't need anything. All you're doing is reaching out to people saying, hey, you can say, listen, I've been in the market. I'm trying to develop and innovate in this market. I just thought I'd reach out to you. This is what I'm doing. Can we have a chat? You don't need, if you've got collateral, that's awesome, right? If you've got stuff, that's awesome. Do you really need it? No, you don't. You're going to develop it along the way. You can develop all along the way. Often say to people, like, even if you're starting into a niche, don't do the website, don't build a landing page, don't mess with your freaking LinkedIn thing. Just go and talk to the market and make an offer, right? Go and get a paying customer first, and then use a little bit of that money to pay somebody else to build all that stuff for you, right? You don't need, we built $1 million website company, and we didn't even have a website, dude. We didn't even have our own website. We sold $1 million worth of websites, and we didn't have a you know what we had? Website coming. Website coming. That's what we had for 11 months. Our website launching soon for 11 months, right? We're a web development company. We didn't need websites. We didn't need our own website. We need to show them the websites that we help people with, or that our team created. That's the websites that our people need to see. They didn't just need to see our stuff, right? We just needed to help them understand that we knew how to build sites that worked, yeah? So it's a really good question, Howard. Are they helpful? Of course they are, right? Of course they're supportive. Of course it's helpful. Of course it can give you a level of branding and a little, that gives you some writing. Of course helpful. Is it necessary to go and do this, No. I've gone into niches that I've had no experience in whatsoever, purely out of having conversations and through introductions, and they're going, you know what, wow, there's a problem here. I could fix this problem. Now, as soon as I fix the problem for one person, then I could fix that problem for another person, because another person will see that they've got a problem too. So all of a sudden, once I've done it 2 or 3 times, you intimately know what's going on. You know pretty much what's happening in the market. If you want to know, if you really want to, people have this fear of, I'm not directing this to you, Howard, because I know you don't have this fear, but a lot of people have this fear. They have this fear of trying to have a conversation with somebody and coming off looking stupid, right? Like because we don't know what we don't know, or we don't know how to ask or what we ask. I want to be the dumbest person in the room. I want to be in a room where all the people in the room are smarter than I am, right? I want to be in a room that makes me uncomfortable, because if it makes me uncomfortable, I've got to ask questions. And if I'm asking questions, I'm not talking, I'm listening, right? And when I'm listening, I discover an idea, I discover a path. And the more I drill into the question, the more I ask the question, the more clarity I get from the answer and the response, and I'll see. And I'll say to people, how bad is this? Oh, it's terrible. Well, what are you doing about it? Well, that's the problem. We can't seem to fix it. Well, if you could fix it, what would that look like? Well, if you could fix it, it'd be freaking awesome. Do you know anybody, John? That's how easily it can happen, right? That's how easily it can happen. It's just being curious. It's learning. It's all about the questions that you ask, having the curiosity, more importantly, just taking an interest. I sat down with a guy, like I was fortunate enough so a friend of mine, through this very strategy actually, introduced me to the president, the world president of the International Bankers Association. So this is the association that is the governing and the lobby group for all the banks in the world, right? So I got to meet the president, the guy, right, who is literally the lobbying leader of the entire monetary system globe, right? So I got to meet Steve. Steve was an amazing, interesting guy, interesting story, interesting history, right? And all I did was just talk about Steve, asked about Steve, right? What he thought, what he saw, what he liked, what he didn't like, what he believed that should happen, what he believed that shouldn't be happening, right? And I just listened, and I said, like, where do you think the fixes need to happen, right? Now, that one introduction, Steve, I actually got to do some work for the international banking industry, right? That was pretty cool because he asked me to help him out on something. But what Steve did was he just went and introduced me to bank CEO, to bank CEO, to bank CEO. We ended up working with some of the biggest banks in the world, right? Because of this one introduction, yeah? Just taking an interest. You'll be surprised. Put yourself aside and just be curious and take an interest. And that interest alone, that's how you're adding value. You're adding value by being curious, by actually really listening in and also feeding back on what you're hearing, right? Because that allows you to get clarity in that process. I cannot tell you how many times I've found myself in conversations where people say, this has been really good. So what is it that you do, John? How can I help you? I oftentimes get that, well, this has been amazing. How can I help you? Really help me out in asking all these questions, right? How can I help you, right? So, well, do you know anybody? Or this is what I do. Oh, funny you should say it. We need help. You need to talk to Mary or Tom or Bob. Let me connect you with him because they need to get this done. They need someone like you, all right? Now, if the president of the association or an iconic business owner or an influencer introduces you to somebody, that person is going to listen because of their stature. By the sheer nature of your association with that person, you have authority. If you want to, we can't do the networking thing now because we've got social distancing, right? But one of my favorite strategies was just to meet the president or the host of an event. Just meet that one person, right? Just go, hey, I just want to say, this is amazing. I want to say thank you for what you guys are doing. Love connected to know a little bit better. But I wanted to quickly introduce myself. Oh, great. And you have a conversation and I'm just asking questions. And then I'm just standing around. And of course, this is the person who knows everybody in the room. And the person that hangs around this person are all influencers. So what is this person going to do? Oh, look, I'd like you to meet Steve, Peter, Mary, Sue, Anne, right? They start introducing you to all the big people in the room. Now, purely because you do. Now, next time I go to that meeting, I used to just literally walk up behind them and stand next to them. And then they see me and they go, oh, John, let me introduce you to blah, 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 blah. So you only meet the best people in the room, right? Now, we can't do that now because of social distancing. But when we're not social distancing, guess what? You can do that really easy. It's a great way to open up opportunities. But how do we do that online? We can connect with people. We've got Zoom. We've got, don't think about what you have or haven't got in place. Put that aside. You need to put the sales aside. You need to put everything aside. You just need to be a person that is keen to help. You need to be a person keen to learn, right? And you need to be somebody that values or wants to build value in that relationship. Now, if you build relationships with people at that level, referrals and the engagement you're going to get is huge, right? It's really weird. All the people that I know that have done really well, they've all used this strategy, right? Keith Krantz, who's a prolific Facebook ad guy, Ralph Burns from Tier 11, right, running a $150 million ad company. He uses this strategy, right? They actually engage and connect with influencers and see and learn, listen, and help, right? And because they've done that, the influencer has literally opened the door to clients. Frank Kern does this brilliantly. If you ever get to work with Frank Kern, right, if you ever serve Frank Kern or do an ad campaign for him and it works, he will literally open his entire Rolodex to you, right? You'll literally bounce from client to client to client to client to client purely on his recommendation, right? So it's really funny. This is a way to serve. It's a really easy way to step into very large sales, right? We still underprice, undervalue. Lisa, one of my consulting champions, she did this strategy with a franchise group, right? She went to an association, it was a large association, and she just interviewed the president. And the president gave it to her. And then the president said, you know what? Because she asked some questions about strategy and all that sort of stuff. And the president said, yeah, we've got this strategic planning thing where we paid 80 grand for, but we don't use it, right? But the reason why we paid the 80 grand was to do compliance. And she said, you know what, let me, if I can take the key components of that, strategic plan, can I just deliver that to you in a presentation? Maybe something is a little bit more consumable, maybe something that might be helpful that you can disseminate because you've made that investment. Why not let the industry know? And the associate press said, that's a great idea. How much is that going to cost us? So she charged a nominal fee for that presentation, right? But here's the thing. She did so well on information and she had the best research because it was literally handed to her, that they hired her to do a bid for a presentation to win an award. So they paid her $25,000 to win an award. Now they won the award, and then they paid her another $120,000 to build a funnel for them, right? But guess what? They asked her to present the strategy, dissemination of the strategy to the association AGM, to the annual general meeting. So here is somebody outside of the industry, right, is now presenting a presentation that they developed from the strategy, right, a planning strategy that the organization paid $80,000 for. And she was being paid to deliver this. She picked up $5 billion company accounts out of that AGM. 5, right? She picked up big brands that literally said, listen, we want to run a test campaign. We have $500,000 spent on the test. Can you help us? Right? If the test works, we have another $6 million to go with it. Can you help us out? Now, Lisa was her and 2 VAs. Her and 2 VAs. That's it. That was her company. And here she was working as a consultant to billion-dollar brands through a really simple strategy of engaging an association president, right? So it works. It works. Take an interest. It's a really simple strategy. But Howard, thanks for asking. And it's a good question. Do you need assets? You don't, but you're going to build them. As you grow, you're going to build those assets. So yes, they do help along the way, but you don't need them to get started. John, thank you. I got this from you. A guy wanted a proposal today for a website, SEO Marketing UK. It was a lot of work. I told him I can't do all this research and marketing plan proposal up front. Give you a plan. I need to charge for that. Charged him $2,500 today, and he has a 15 lead came from a colleague. John, congratulations, mate, and thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Right? So you didn't give him a free thing. You charged him for the presentation of the plan. You charged him $2,500 that they agreed to, and they've given you the budget. So you've got a deal there. You're going to make $7,500, right, on the delivery. Faisal says, congratulations, John. Mate, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it in going out there and outreaching with an offer. Yeah. So this stuff works. I know this works because a lot of people do, those that do what I tell them to do, eventually find themselves in the dangerous position of generating clients. You know, Faisal here. I know, Ahmed, mate, you tried a strategy with me and you closed the deal, right, the next day. So I know this stuff works. So if you've got a question, let me answer the questions for you. If you've got questions, let me help you out here. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? You can unmute if you want to unmute. I'm happy for you to ask me directly. I'll help you out. I know that there are comments, and I can't see the comments in Facebook, but I know we're here. But if you want to ask me a question, Tanya Bellchamber, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being on the call. It's always nice to see your face. If you've got a question, I'd love to be able to answer a question for you. Any questions? If you don't want to ask me a question, you want to type a question, type the question in the chat, and I'll answer the question in the chat if you want me to answer a question. So Tanya, hoping to work less this year. If you want to work less, double your prices. You work with half the amount of clients and make more money. So double your prices. That's the fastest way to make more and work less. Yeah. Or just work with a handful of really big accounts, right? And just that's it. Cap yourself out with people who are going to pay you $500,000. Much easier. Work with 20, 30 clients are going to pay you the same amount of money. Any questions? Feel free. You can unmute. I'm here. Teo, good to see you. Avery, Max, if you want to type in the chat. Brandon, if you've got questions. Alec, if you've got questions, just type it in the chat. Terry, Jamil, Don, Jerry, Mark, Ahmed, feel free to ask a question. If you want to share what your biggest takeaway from today's session is, feel free to type in the chat what your biggest takeaway is. That would be also something if you want to do that. I know we are on the interwebs here. If you haven't already, go to clientsunleashed.com. It's in the chat there. Any questions? Feel free to unmute. We are live. No, we're all good. Okay. Look, thank you for being here. I will, for the time, be hopping on here, doing other sessions on some more specific and more strategic things. If you've got questions, jump into the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group. Mark, I did the strategy with the private school marketing director, 12 years. I didn't go for it because I didn't like the committee process too long. That can happen. Get into, thanks Faisal. Faisal says, get into Clients Unleashed, highly recommended. Mark says, but it works. Yes, it does work. Yeah. Again, picking and choosing the market is also something you want to be mindful of, Mark, as well. That can work as well. Pete O'Sullivan, good to see your face there. Hopefully you've had a few ideas. But if you haven't already, just go over to clientsunleashed.com. You can jump in there. We're basically walking through speeding up or expediting the process and opening the door for you to generate between 1 and 3 appointments per day. The goal is to get 3 to 5 clients over the next 4 to 5 weeks as a goal. We've got a whole bunch of people already hired there. We've got a whole bunch of people making sales through that process. So if you're interested, then just go and check it out. It's at clientsunleashed.com. If you've got a question, feel free to type in a question in the chat here for those of you joining me on Zoom. Those in the Facebook groups, if you want to ask a question, feel free to leave a question. I will respond or get back to the answer in those questions. So with that, I want to say thank you for being here. If you haven't already checked it out, just go to clientsunleashed.com hopefully, if you apply this, I'd love to get some feedback from you. If you actually apply any of these strategies and you get a result, just type it, go into Consulting Unleashed in the Facebook groups and let us know what you did and the result you got so we can congratulate you and acknowledge you. You know, at the end of the day, the idea is to pick something that you perhaps have learned and go and apply it and actually get some feedback. And I know ultimately you're opening the door to getting some results. So with that, I want to say, thank you, Howard Tayanu. Appreciate you saying that. Thank you. For those of you who joined me live on the Zooms, thank you. Those lives out there who in Facebook land, if you have questions,